Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh my God.
The villains and the wolves.
Oh my God.
Hello, and welcome to Love Letters of Universal Sound. And I'm your host, Deborah Washington. And on this third episode, we're going to title this Warning Signs. Have you ever had warning signs? Warning signs are in your mind. Some people might say it's your first thought. But there is a lot of people listen to their warning signs. And on the other hand, there are people that really don't. You can lose your life if you don't listen to God's warning signs. They're in your mind. I'm going to tell you a story. We're a storytelling podcast. It's about a guy named Tommy. It was Tommy and his older sister. And the dad died over his girlfriend's house. That second life he was having, he had another life outside of his family. And he died. And they found out where he lived, that he was married. And they called Tommy's mother to go to identify the body. And she was so shocked. She said, why? Why would you betray me? Why would you do this to me? And he was dead in the chair, and she was just socking his body and slapping him. Why could you do this? But it was too late. And when she found out that he was living that double life, when he died, she found out there was no money. He spent the money on the woman. She took his car, everything, had it all in her name and everything. So she didn't have no money. And her two children, this is Tommy and his sister and mother, had to move to what we call the ghetto or the low-income neighborhood. They moved. And the mother had a secret. And the daughter just seen her mother deteriorating. And then they found out the mother had cancer. And she died of stress and sadness, disappointment, and betrayal. So the sister was left to take care of her brother, Tommy. And when they moved to the apartment, the neighbors was talking because Tommy was meeting the kids. The guys in that neighborhood were in gangs, and they hooked up with Tommy and got Tommy to join, and the neighbors start talking. And the sister, well, she couldn't talk to Tommy because he was an angry little boy. Well, a young man. He was very angry with his dad and angry with his mom for lying and not telling him the truth about her health, and they can't live where they were living. He wanted to go back where they were living, the lifestyle that they were living. Couldn't do that anymore. So after the mother died, the sister lost control over Tommy. She said, Tommy, I heard about the guys that you're hanging around with now, and I know they're selling. And she asked Tommy, can we talk? And he just went right past her. She said, well, if you don't want to listen to me, will you listen to your warning signs? They're in your mind. And the song that you're going to hear is going to tell the story of what happened to Tommy. Tommy didn't listen to his sister. He joined the gang and started participating in doing the things that everyone was doing, selling drugs, smoking crack, having sex, and everything, stealing. And all the neighbors were talking. And the sister was pleading and begging, and she was saying, Tommy, don't go over there. And then he went over there anyway. Warning signs. God has a way of communicating with his children, with all human beings, in a way that could actually save your life. You could be thinking about doing something, and then in your mind will just really convince you or let you know that that's not a good idea. And you listen, and then you find out later that because you listened, your life was spared. Tommy realized one day that he didn't want to do that because his integrity kicked in. That he was no longer angry no more with his mom and dad. He was beginning to understand how the mom was just trying to protect him by not telling him and his sister that she had cancer. It was bad enough that the dad died. So he wanted to get out of the game. And they said, oh no, you're not leaving nowhere. You got too much information on us. We'll kill you first. So the neighbors heard it. And they told the sister. And she got on the phone and she was calling because Tommy didn't come home that night. She was calling everywhere looking for him. Everywhere. She didn't even sleep that night. And the next day, she went outside. And there was her brother, Tommy, right at the door, dead. The neighbors told her that he was trying to get out of the game, but they wouldn't let him. And he told the neighbors that I made a bad mistake. Everything inside of me told me not to do that, not to go join them, but I was angry with my dad and my mom. And when I came to my senses, I wanted out. And that's what the neighbors told Tommy's sister. But it was too late. To listen to your warning signs is to be very transparent. Here I go. I remember one time with me, I could have lost my life. And tell me, is there one time in your life that you could have lost your life because you listened to that small, still voice in your mind that told you, don't go over there. Warning signs. Sometimes, as parents, we get the warning signs and we don't listen. We become selfish and think about our own self. You got 5 kids. And bear with me because the reason why I say 5 kids is because we were 5 until we lost a sister was 6. And I just used 5. You can have 5 kids. And you go to a club and you meet a man, and by the way, you gave all 5 of your kids some NyQuil and made them go to sleep before you went to the club because you could not afford a babysitter. So you know the babysitter was the NyQuil and all 5 of your kids are asleep. So now you at the club calling your friends and, hey, I'm ready. So you go to the club and you meet a man. He buying you drinks, making you feel special, special. And so he tell you how beautiful you look. Instead of you going home with your friends that night, you go home with that guy. You know your kids are okay. You thinking. But the warning signs should have had you on your P's and Q's because it's dangerous to leave your kids home alone. They still can wake up. But you so busy partying and drinking and with that guy, and he took you to a hotel and you opening up your legs and y'all having a jolly good time wiggling around, giving him your best behavior because he told you was so beautiful and fine and sexy that he wants you to be his woman. And that's something that you just really, really, really wanted. Because you got 5 kids and you never been married. And then you go home. And then you don't hear from him anymore. But your warning signs told you that you had some regrets that you should have never slept with him. You should have never did that. But you did it. But yourself is telling you that he did say I was special. Maybe this is the one. Maybe this is my future husband. So a month and a half or so passes. You guys did exchange phone numbers. And you gave him a call. He never called you. And your warning signs are telling you, I wonder why he didn't call me. He said I was beautiful and that he loved me and he made love to me so passionately. So you mustered up enough courage. Ring! And you call him. Hey, how you doing? You remember me? Yeah. I just wanted to let you know, I've been thinking about you a whole lot. And I'm pregnant. And he said, pregnant? Pregnant by who? By you, silly. Well, that's a lie. I don't even know you. And then his wife snatched the phone from him and said, hello? Don't call our house no more. B. You got the wrong person. He said, I don't even know you. And don't call our house no more. If I come over there and whoop you, or find out where you at. And hang up in your face. And you looking like this. With regret. And your warning signs told you you shouldn't have left your friends at the club and went with that guy, but you did. And when you came home, one of the kids was up. Just in time. And you wouldn't tell nobody that story. But God was getting your attention and tell you not to do something, and you did it anyway. So you have to live with regrets. Regrets. So now you're about to have the number 6 child by yourself, because it sounds like he's not going to marry you. And if you try to come around him, you might get beat up really seriously, because he said he didn't even know your name. It was a one night stand. But you should have followed your first mind. Now you have to deal with all of those things and the regrets. God has given us all warning signs. Some people listen to him and they know it was God, and they listened and their life was spared. And some loses their life. But then sometimes people, she did meet someone else and brought them in the house while she was still pregnant and let the man live with her because she just didn't want to be alone. And the kids were saying, well, Mom, why you let him move in the house with us? This is our house. We don't have no room. Why? You let him live with us. And she said, be quiet. I have to live a life. I have to have a life. Now you respect him. He's going to be your stepdad. But she didn't even know him, did she? He was messing with you had 5 kids, you had 4 daughters and 1 son. And your boyfriend was molesting all of them, even your son. And your kids was too scared to tell you. And you didn't listen to the warning signs, did you? You pregnant with the 6th child, would you hurry up and got a man in there so you won't look like you're all alone? You didn't even know him. He messing with all your kids. And when one of your daughters tried to tell you, why you let this man live with us? He's touching me. He touched my sister and my brother. And you don't believe me. But my sister, she's pregnant too. Just like you. Because you let this strange man in our house. You don't even know him. Because you don't want to be alone. I hate you. We don't have no place to stay. You let this man live in our house. And then you turn around and say, get out of my face. You ain't nothing but a liar. And if you don't get out of my face, I'm going to slap you in the face. He wouldn't touch you. He have all of this. So your kids run away. 14 and 15. Where are they going to go? Into the streets. And they don't even care about their warning signs. They just want to get away from you. And they don't have nothing but themselves, so what do? Prostitute. And they hang around with the so-called friends. They should be in school, but they go into a ditching party where somebody do something, put something in their drink. And because you didn't listen to your signs, your warning signs, you're ruining your whole family. and now you're alone. It's always good to be honest with your mind and honest with yourself, with your life and the life of your children. Because if you don't listen to the still voice in your mind, your warning signs, then the enemy will come in and tell you to do something, and you'll follow that and live with regrets. Have you had any warning signs lately? What is your day like? If you're a woman or man of integrity, don't let nobody talk you out of your no or change your temperature. Be around positive people.
Tommy, come here. I heard about the guys you hang out with now. And I know they're selling. Can we talk? What do you mean you don't have time to listen to me? Well then, will you listen to your warning signs? They're in your mind, you know, telling you. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go. Over there. Don't go down there. Don't go over there. Oh, no. I told him yesterday there would be nothing but trouble hanging around with those guys. Now all the neighbors are talking about the guys living life too fast, smoking dope, selling crack. Heaven knows it won't last, but he wouldn't listen. Just turned and walked away. Turned and walked away. The night before it happened, warning signs lit up my mind. I'm asking him to stay, telling him to stay home. Still he wouldn't listen. Just turned and walked away. When they listen to your warning signs, you ain't on their warning signs. God given warning signs, ain't all mine. Warning signs, listen to your warning signs. Come and listen to your warning signs. In the game selling dope just the same. With a loaded gun in his pocket, tongue on crack, high as a rocket. Always missing teaching school, looking for a girl to use. Rob stealing on the one, hurting, killing people's sons. Someone's gonna get you back if you don't stop selling crack. Listen to your God-given warning sign. Didn't come home. I checked all messages on the phone. Soon the night ended and the day took place. No signs from him, not a trace. I got on the phone and I called a friend just to find out that he wasn't in. Then I looked out the door, there in red, Tommy, dead. Oh, it was just yesterday the neighbors told me about those guys. Oh, Tommy. Oh, no, Tommy. They told me yesterday it would be trouble, nothing but trouble hanging around if he kept hanging around those guys. Now all the neighbors are talking. Now all the neighbors are talking. Don't go, don't go, don't go down there. I said don't go over there. wasn't your mother. I was just your sister. And all I really wanted you to know is that I love you. I love you. In Jesus' name. Amen. Oh.
Listen to me. Listen. Listen to your warning signs. Listen, yeah. To your